better housing, infrastructure, and more equitable cities. It's similar in the way carbon credits reward environmental responsibility, SOCCs rewards social responsibility, and build communities from within. A beta test of SOCCs has been launched in Mumbai, KUMASI, Kenya, and Costa Rica. Based on this work, Geeta was honored as one of the 21 leaders of the 21st century by Women's E-News. Geeta also lived in Japan for more than 20 years, I learned, and authored many books, several books, on Japanese architecture. Her upcoming book is titled City Connect, Regeneration, Equity, Sustainability in the 21st Century. Please welcome one of our very own GSAP faculty members, Dr. Geeta Mehta.
Thank you very much. It seems some of my students are here. Thank you, thank you. I'm actually teaching at Columbia in the exact same program I graduated from, so, coming full circle. So today I want to talk about SOCCs. I continue to learn at GSAP, and one of the things I did with all the wonderful things I learned is develop this virtual currency for social good. It uses the best practices of carbon credits. We used to say bitcoins, but we don't say that anymore. It works like a loyalty program. And Asia Initiatives is a nonprofit I founded about 15 years ago. I have worked with the communities primarily in South Asia, but also in Africa. And what we found working with these communities is that, poor communities are poor because they don't have money. But they have all kinds of other assets that we have become so money-centric that we are beginning to measure everything in money. And we don't have tools, actually, to measure these other strengths and capital that poor communities have. So we thought that, oh no, something needs to be done about that, and that is how SOCCs came to be. And this is our work with the URBZ, user-generated cities. Some of you might have seen some of our work at MoMA that is being shown right now. Again, the same thing. We work with communities in, working about how you can improve your own neighborhood, what is the vocabulary you can use to talk to developers and the city and so on. But it always came out that people had amazing strengths. So then the question is, how do you leverage them to actually help people get out of poverty and improve their neighborhoods and well-being? So then we came up with the idea of SOCCs. So on your left is the menu. So we work with every community to develop SOCC earning and SOCC spending menus. And so on your left is the SOCC earning menu, which in a community might have something like waste recycling. It could have sending children to school, particularly daughters. In many poor communities in developing countries, girls don't get to school, but little boys would. So if you send your daughters, particularly to high school and college, you could earn SOCCs. Planting trees in many poor communities, people have cut down trees for firewood because they are so poor. But then when it's really hot, they don't have the shade, so that's usually on the menu, and then vaccinating children. On the other side, you see the SOCC spending menu, and that would have things to do with education, with healthcare. Our most important, most popular, of course, is telephone talk time, because people in communities often have telephone, but they don't have money to put talk time into it. In the middle is what we call the SOCC market. If it sounds a little bit like stock market, it's not an unintended coincidence, because we do want to counter the concept that everything has to be measured with the way money is set up right now. We want to challenge that. Right now, we are using this program in Costa Rica, in Ghana, in Kenya, and several places in India. And I'll just show you a few examples. This is our work in Bantama market in Kumasi in Ghana. And this is a market completely run by women. The wonderful woman on the right, yeah, you're right, is a SOCC manager. She's recording in the SOCC book. The SOCC books actually look like that. And so she's recording how many SOCCs the person in the community earned. This is what a menu looks like. It's about getting your own health check, about using contraceptives, getting children vaccinated. Now you'll see on the extreme right-hand side that there's I-SOCC and there's COMM-SOCC. So every time you're doing something good for yourself, you're also earning points for your community. So there's a big community pot and SOCCs virtual pot, and the SOCCs go into that as well. So every time you are collecting SOCCs, your community is also earning SOCCs. Then there's a spending menu, mobile talk time, umbrellas, or school supplies, or so on. And then there's a spending menu for the community. So when the community pot has enough money, you can actually begin to now improve the roads or build a childcare center or do bigger things like set up a recycling facility. They are all individualized for particular communities. This particular example is in South India, where the farmers are using SOCCs to get their wells desilted so they can get 2 or 3 crops instead of just 1 crop in a year. And you can imagine how that totally changes their life. This is a public space in Mumbai in a slum redevelopment area where the space looked like what's on your left, and then now it looks like what's on your right, and it is being maintained also using SOCCs. And this is also in South India, where we are actually restoring an entire river. It's a sacred river, but it's extremely polluted. So we are inviting communities that live on the side of the river to become custodians of the river. So they earn SOCC points for becoming custodians of the river, and with those SOCC points, they can then get healthcare, education, and other things they need to get out of poverty. And so on the right, you see, we do very close consultations with communities. And all these ideas really come from the communities because they are actually very innovative. And on the bottom right is a big festival. This place has a festival every year. It's called Chaturai Festival. It's actually celebrating the marriage of Shiva and Parvati. But this year in the festival, which is on 20th April, there will also be floats about restoring the river and getting community participation. So this is in Costa Rica, where we were invited by the mayor's office to come and set up a system of SOCCs so that people are forming like neighborhood watch groups and other ways to maintain and take care of public spaces, and they are earning SOCCs for that, which can then be traded for internet time and other things that the government is able to give them. And this is one of my favorite projects. It's in Mumbai. It's a SOCCpreneur. Young entrepreneurs who have ideas to improve their own communities, we fund their business and help them to get started. And then the concept is that part of the profit will go into the community pool, which will fund SOCCs that people can earn. Actually, this woman is dharavimarket.com. Many of you may know Dharavi is one of the biggest slums in Asia. This one, actually. And these craftsmen make leather jackets that sell in Neiman Marcus on Fifth Avenue. But they don't get much money. So selling through her website, they're going to get much more money, and part of it will go into a SOCC pool so they can begin to put exhaust fans in their own workshops so they're not having to inhale the toxic fumes. Till now, all our work has been done on these kind of paper passbooks in a very simple way, but we are just developing an online platform so anybody anywhere in the world can begin to use SOCCs, and that's actually going to go live on April 11th. And so I invite you all to test it out, and if you have any ideas or advice, I'd love to talk to you. Thank you.
next speaker is Dean DeSimone.